so I could look somewhat better, but it is what it is.
Cool, cool.
And hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is AVIOT Sunday Brew, although it ain't brew time right now. It's later on in the day. If you are on the East Coast, it is what? What is it, random? It's
7 o'clock?
7 o'clock?
Yeah,
7 o'clock. Yeah,
7:08.
it's 6:08 over here. I'm actually in Tulum, Mexico right now on a trip, but I wanted to stay true to our podcast and still be able to interact with people live. This is going to be a short show, so we'll probably end at 7:25 Eastern Standard Time, and that's how we'll operate here. But in case you're new to this is AVIOT Sunday Brew. This is where we meet every Sunday and we engage with people live. We have our own podcast, the AVIOT Podcast, which we release Thursdays. There's been some hiccups lately, and we did record a podcast this past Wednesday. I did not put that out yet because the activities that I've been on while in Mexico have been very draining. So I hope to maybe put out that episode maybe tomorrow morning if time permits, but we'll see. We will definitely see because tonight is going to be a decent night, but we're going to chill for a little bit. I'm with a group over here. We're going to chill after we go out to dinner. That's why we're cutting the podcast early. And then also last Sunday, me and Jay Random, co-host right here, we had a little mix up, so we had to cancel that show. But I did put out a podcast episode or episode featuring comes on and speaks about our just foreign policy with America or just foreign affairs in general. And we spoke about Palestine there. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to check out the AVI podcast on streaming services so you can hear that talk. But anyways, enough of that. Random, what's been going on with you? How's your life been? Seems like we've been talking.
Yeah, I know, right? Life is good, man. Can't complain. It's raining. It's crazy how these thunderstorms are around here in the South. Pretty aggressive. I remember growing up when I used to go visit our grandmother. I used to love the thunderstorms, but now these thunderstorms feel like the house about to fall apart. Like, uh, so yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's aggressive. 2 nights ago, we had a thunderstorm, and it felt like a plane crashed. It felt like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it was kind of like the thunder was rolling, so
Mhm.
the house is just shaking, and it was like, and my wife and I were like, "Yo!" So we looked out the window to make sure that a plane and just, I mean, it was that aggressive. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So and it started up again today. So besides that, like I said again, I still like them. I definitely like thunderstorms when I'm not at work. So
Mm.
today's like a good day because I like to look out the window. I like to just turn off everything. Can't turn off everything if you're actually working. So
No, I
that's
feel
what's
that.
going on with me, man. Just enjoy nature. That's about it. Like always, Sunday it's my relaxed time. We have a holiday tomorrow, so I get 2 relaxed days. So I'm good. What about you? Well,
Well,
we already know about you, but I don't know much.
now, I was gonna even say, speaking of nature, just being over here in Mexico in general, that's all I see is nature. You see trees, you
Yeah.
see. I seen raccoons just chilling at restaurants, just hanging out in the bushes, hanging out on top of the what do you call it? The border for the restaurant, just chilling. I guess
Yeah.
people. So that's what happened. We've seen iguanas. We've seen. Hi, Milay Wagner. Hey, how you doing?
How you
Milay.
doing?
Yeah. Hey, people who are tuning in, make sure to just leave some comments or leave questions, and we'll definitely go back and forth with you. We're gonna cut this show at 7:25 Eastern Standard Time, so we do have a limited amount of time here, but just keep the comments and questions respectful. But yeah, so that's a lot of nature. In fact, speaking of nature, we just came back from snorkeling today.
Okay.
Hey, Simone, how you doing?
Hey,
Yeah, we
Simone.
just snorkeling today, and the so I'm here in Mexico on a bachelor's trip for a buddy of mine, and this was his first time snorkeling. So it was definitely an experience because he kept getting the water in his mouth, kept swallowing the salt water, and so he got seasick. So he couldn't even make it. He couldn't even make it to the next part of the snorkeling. So we did snorkeling in one part,
Okay.
and the waves were rougher there. And if you haven't snorkeled before and don't know how to put on the mask or anything, then it's going to be more difficult for you. Now he can swim, obviously, he had his life vest on, but it was just more difficult. We went to the next point when we were snorkeling, and that's where all the animals were. And so we
Okay.
got to see rays and turtles and the school of fish, but he couldn't even see that because he was seasick. So I felt bad for him.
Yeah, seasick, man. Man, listen, that's no joke, man. I think the only time I ever got seasick when I was on a cruise ship. No, matter of fact, I'm lying. A boat, not a cruise ship. Cruise ships, as a lot of people may think you can get sick off. Only time you get sick off a cruise ship, I believe, is if it's a bad storm.
Mm.
But you're right. A regular boat, oh man, it's a bad feeling.
Yeah, it's a lot of rocking back and forth. I will say, I kept telling everybody that we're traveling with, it's 7 of us, and I kept saying, "Listen, I don't wanna go snorkeling because I don't wanna see no sharks." And people talking about, "Ain't no sharks in the water, da 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 da." Well, they have nurse sharks. I said, "I don't wanna see no sharks,"
I
right?
don't. If you got teeth, I don't want it. I don't want to be next to it.
Oh, what happened when we got to the 2nd snorkeling spot?
What, you saw some big sharks or nerf sharks?
I promise you, the shark had to be 5 feet. The shark had to be 5 foot. The dude, the instructor pointed down. He said, "Look, guys." I said, "Oh no!" And I started swimming right back to the boat.
Yeah, I don't blame.
Yo, everybody was cracking up, but I was serious. And I have my travel ring on. This joint is shiny. I got my chain. This joint is shiny. I know the glistening, it attracts fish. So I ain't trying to play with that.
I don't blame you, man. Listen, I don't blame. Whoa, whoa, wait, wait, time out, time out, time out. You saying shiny objects attract fish?
Yeah.
Man,
Obviously,
man,
taking it
listen,
off. I taking
you
this stuff
crazy.
off, like taking it off.
Yeah,
But
you crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
I would
So
have a. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah,
So you basically
underwater.
had a beacon on. You had a beacon, right?
You said what?
So you had a beacon on. Just telling the
Yeah.
fish, "Hey, come eat me."
Seriously. And the turtles kept bumping into us. Okay, let's see. We have a comment from Angel Hall. Pam Grier, Foxy Brown, or Bernadette, the daughter on Good Times. Who was more beautiful? Definitely, easily Bernadette, and she's still beautiful and fine. Angel. So this is the thing. Beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, and everyone
Correct.
has certain attractiveness to them, no matter how you feel about them, right? So yes, these black women, yeah, we know Bernadette from Thelma from Good Times. So these black women, they're all attractive in their own right. I don't think personally it's cool to rank. You may have someone that you lean more towards in your head, but I personally don't think it's cool to rank in terms of, oh, who's finer out of these three. They all are attractive in their own way. What do you got to say to that, Random? You saw the comment?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was looking at the comments. No, I agree. I rather not rank them either. They're all beautiful in their own way. So, yeah, yeah. I don't even want to rank them. That's all right. I won't rank them. I just say they're both beautiful as well. They're both beautiful. Definitely in their own way. Because it all depends on what you prefer, right? That's what makes one person stand out more than the other. So,
Yeah, and then someone's gonna say all these chains and rings are fake. Well, I mean, I don't know what the point of saying that is. You don't know whether or not my chains or rings are fake. You don't know how much money was spent on them. I
I
don't need to.
agree.
I don't need to prove myself in terms of the jewelry that I wear. And I think that's also just a problem with society in general. Everyone has to flex on somebody. We need to make sure, yeah, this is real. Yeah. My thing is, does it look good? Is it is it okay? It does it make you feel good, whatever you have on? I think that's all that should really matter. I see Random is playing with his camera right now. Either he got a phone call or he is blocking something out, but he's paused. Anyways, that was my spiel there. I'm gonna wait for Random to get back. Let's see more comments. Yes, thank you, Angel, thank you. I mean, I appreciate the comment talking about those black women of the past on those past shows, and I do think it opens up room for discussion in those areas when we're talking about people who are attracted to who. Hi, Shay W. I see that you just waved your hand. I'm also. Whoops. I paused for a minute. I'm also.
Yeah, I paused for a minute. I apologize for that. Yeah, it's just crazy how my phone don't ring until we do this show on Sunday. It seems like.
Yeah, that's usually how it happened. But I wanted to get your opinion just on the fake chain, all that stuff. I said whatever makes you feel good, that's all that should matter. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know what's so funny? Who was it? It was a I forgot. I think it was an athlete who said that they wear fake jewelry because it don't make any sense. Who was it?
I forgot the athlete, but I
It's just
know
recently too. Say that again.
it's not Ocho Cinco, was it?
You know what? Ocho Cinco is the only person I keep thinking about, but that's because he's cheap all year round. But I don't know
Yeah,
if
but
it was him.
I don't think it was him. I think it
Yeah,
was
I don't
somebody.
think it was him, but it was someone. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, listen, it shouldn't matter, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you know what you can afford, what you can't, right? And jewelry is just, I think that's a bad investment anyway to spend all this money on something that, the value depreciate real quick, worse than a car. So,
Gold. Gold will
what was it?
always make.
Yes, gold. But you know what? Nowadays with gold, man, I mean, now we talking about 14 karat, 18, 20. Somehow at the end of the day, you never get your money worth, I think. Unless you're walking around with a bar, a gold bar, then you always gonna get your value then. Who's walking around with gold bars? So
And I think that would be actually a good topic. Maybe we can get a jeweler on the AVI podcast one of these days, and then we can talk about just the value depreciating or increasing. And you know what? I'm gonna look that up for our next podcast episode. I'm gonna take whatever we're talking about here in terms of the jewelry thing, and I'm going to research it so we can talk about that in more detail. Because I don't think either of us, unless you know a lot about jewelry and the value increasing or decreasing, I don't think we're that knowledgeable on that topic quite yet. Are you
I,
reading the comment?
I'm sorry, say that again. 'Cause, this time I figured out how to ignore the call without switching.
Shaking my head. Oh Lord, now he went off again. Yeah, Shade W. Yes, a lot of trolls are coming through. That's what happens. So what I will do is I will entertain some of these trolls for a little bit. And Jay Random, he just got knocked off again. I guess he got another phone call. But anyways, so we have something that says Trump 2024, baby. I want to know the person in the comment section that says Trump 2024. Why are you supporting him? And what do you think he would do to help this country out? Because we've already seen a presidency that he's had before and it didn't work out too great. So I just want to know your thoughts about that. Another person came and said, two unemployed black guys. Well, what makes you think that me and Jay Random, my co host, are unemployed? I would like to know why you think that as well. I think that yeah, you have trolls in the comment section, but trolls sometimes they make comments based off assumptions that general overall society has. Jay Reynolds, I'm speaking to the guy. I addressed two of the trolls, just saying the first person, why are they going for Trump 2024? Like, what's their reasoning for that? Because we've seen in the past presidency it didn't work out too well. And then I also addressed the person who said two unemployed black guys. I said, well, we don't need to prove anything to you, but what makes you think that we're unemployed? And though they're trolls, it does speak to a larger issue of think. But go ahead, say your piece.
No, I'm just laughing because far from unemployed, definitely two well-educated black men that's doing this show. Uh, so I just laugh at it. That's just trolling. I mean, that's the problem with people with it's not Twitter, but the word Twitter fingers come about. People want to be comedians, but they're not funny. So
Mm.
you just laugh at them. You see it and you go, all right, cool. I'm glad you feel that way. Thank you so much.
Also, another thing too. So you didn't hear me last time. I said I don't know if we're that well versed in the jewelry department, so I'm gonna look into it a little bit more to see the
About what?
value jewelry increasing or decreasing, like the value of jewelry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that would be a good topic for our next actual podcast episode. All right, so real quick, just to close this episode out because we don't have much time. I said in previous weeks we were going to talk about Umbrella Academy because I had finally finished that episode. This rant may lead into another discussion on another show we will have, but I said so. I don't know if y'all who are listening out there are aware, but there's a show on Netflix called The Umbrella Academy. It's based off of a comic or a graphic novel, one or the other, and it's pretty much about aliens who they let loose these particles. The particles get to Earth, and then all these women just become pregnant magically. And I think eight is it eight kids were born
I don't know
or
why
seven.
it's in my head, but
Okay.
um,
But yeah, it was a multiple kids were born. And
yeah,
so throughout the show, the whole theme of the show is that the apocalypse is coming to Earth, and they're always trying to prevent the apocalypse in every season. This last season, they found that pretty much the reason why the apocalypse keeps coming back to Earth is because they exist.
correct.
And so the whole premise of the last season was them falling out of existence. So I'm sorry if that's confusing people, but that is something that um, why don't you guys rap or something? Oh my lord. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the premise of the show. But random, let me just tell you, I
So
despise.
I'm laughing because like the trolls come out at 7, so we gotta remember that. Keep that in mind. It's normally we normally do the show in the morning, so I'm
Yeah,
laughing.
we morning this time just because of everything I got going on over here in Mexico. But
Yeah,
I that last season of Umbrella Academy. Okay, I despise it was terrible. It pretty much defeated the whole. It defeated the whole purpose of the series.
yeah. So I agree with you. I think the last season of the Umbrella Academy was I equate it to the last Matrix,
Oh, the fourth one.
the fourth one, even the second one, and no, sorry, even the third one. As far as you could tell when there's different writers because the whole storyline just it takes a U-turn and it's trying to start something else and it's like you can't start something else because this is the last. You don't have another season to produce where you're trying to go. I thought I didn't like how Five and his brother's wife messed around. I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was stupid. I mean,
It was so one of the characters. So basically, all of these characters on Umbrella Academy, they are siblings, and yes, yes, yes. KZQ Films. Yes, I got rid of the troll in the chat because they were doing the most, and it was taking away from a conversation. What we're doing right now, we're talking about a show, our opinions of a show, and
yeah,
so that's focus on right now. But go ahead. Yeah, one of the characters, J Random, yes, one of the characters, he pretty much slept with his sibling's wife,
yeah.
but it was random because they never had any connection before.
They hated each other. They never had any connection. And I understand if you think that you're the last person on earth, but really, I don't think that was the way to go. So and then it kind of messed up the dynamic of the Umbrella Academy, even though they only had like what a day to reconcile what happened, right? Because remember they came back and then they was acting funny and then the two admitted to
Messing around with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but as if people know the show, you got to give a little bit of context.
Oh well, I don't know who knows the show or not. I'm sorry. So I don't even know. Listen. Only person I remember is Five. Five.
Mm,
I mean, I know all of them. Five. But Five is like the main character. If you ask me,
right, right.
Five. Yeah, I can't remember the rest of the characters' name. But no, I mean, but to sum it up, I didn't like it. I
Yeah,
thought. I thought last. I thought. I thought the last season should have been the last season when they came back and they came back in a alternate universe. Right. It wasn't their
yeah,
universe.
yeah. So like I was saying before, for those of you who haven't watched the show Umbrella Academy, I do encourage y'all to watch it. The last season is terrible though,
Yeah.
and
Rush
there
job.
was a way that they did the show, and I thought that it was there was a way that they did the show, and I thought that it was very fun and very likable for people out there. And now all of a sudden, yeah, I gotta also get rid of this troll. Like, listen, the reason for this show, y'all, is for us to interact our audience and to have a productive dialogue, talk about media, talk about everything out there. But they got to stop with the troll stuff. Anyways, Jay, I think maybe I made a mistake bringing up Umbrella Academy, and maybe we should dedicate an actual show to that. I thought we could do it
Yeah,
on
I want
Sunday
to.
Brew.
I want to. I want to. Yeah, we have
Yeah,
to because time
dedic-
is ticking. You got to run, and yeah, no, definitely we should.
yeah, we'll
But we
try
should
it
do it
again.
on our Wednesday show.
Okay, okay, we can do that. But listen, everyone, thank you for tuning in to this Sunday Brew. I wanted to do this because um, last Sunday, like I said earlier in this episode right here, me and Jay Random, we had some issues doing the show, so we canceled it. But we wanted to continue with this one, even though it's not in the early morning. But we encourage you all to listen to our actual podcast, AVIOT, AVIOT. You can find that on streaming services anywhere. And we will definitely post the last episode that we had. I thought it was really good. We talked about Cam Newton and the multiple children he has by
But
multiple
yeah,
women. So we'll post that. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna try and see if I can post it tomorrow. And yeah, it was nice being with y'all. And till next time,
all right.
peace.
Peace, everyone.